Hi, I'm Kelly Kearney with Starry Constellation Magazine, and with me today is from actor Corteon Moore. Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Hello, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Your character, Ellis, had a big event happen to him this season. His wife, Fatima, they were both excited about having a baby, and then that pregnancy vanished.
Yeah.
They were devastated after learning it might have been maybe a symptom of her declining health, but fans, of course, assume the entity is playing tricks on the Stevens family like crazy. Uh, Fans have also speculated that Tilly, who died last week, was murdered by Fatima. Her attention to Fatima is interesting, and maybe there's even a connection between Elgin and the kimono lady. Should we expect big answers by the season three finale to kind of satiate fans and tie those storylines up?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of loose ends that get tied up by the end of this season. But I do think still some of the things that we've even introduced this year are part of this, like, ever growing, and it this we're a part of like this entire universe now, and there's a lot of things that may seem like they don't make sense, but all it takes is just like one kind of, flip of a camera to realize that, you've been looking at your answer this entire time. But yeah, no, I do think out of all three seasons, this finale provides some of the most clarity in a really, really exciting and scary, to be honest, way. So yeah, I think people are going to be really satisfied.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Fans have a million theories about this show. It's one of the
Oh,
things that
so
draws
many.
fans in like endlessly, right? One circulating that caught my eye recently are time travel. Obviously, that's been a big one.
Yeah.
And the cosmic chess match between good and evil that seems to be possibly hinting at
Oh,
Fatima and Ellis's pregnancy or vanishing pregnancy
yeah.
that maybe points to next week's episode, Revelation, book
Right.
one or chapter one. Do you have a fan favorite sort of fan theory that caught your attention? Is this something that actors discuss?
Well, let me think. Yeah, no, we theorize like that's like 90% of what we talk about over dinner when we all hang out. I'm trying to think of like a fan theory that I saw. I mean, I can't remember where I because I know I didn't think of this. Somebody told me, and it might have been one of our cast members, or it might have been a fan online. But there's something about the place where the Civil War began and ended is like one
Hmm.
place in America, and supposedly the place that we're in is supposed to represent that place. That's why there's like only Americans in the town, and why the Civil War soldiers make an appearance, and like there's like there's I guess there's like layers and layers and like hundreds of thousands of years to that theory, but that's the one that I think has stayed with me the most. Now, after like being on the show for like over 3 years now, it's exhausting for me to keep up with, the millions of theories that I think are online, and then to theorize with the cast, and then go home and theorize with my friends. Like, it's just, so at this point I just kind of like watch it or I act it, and I'm like, John Griffin and the writers and directors, you guys just take us where you want to go. I am not smart enough to break this thing open. I'll leave it to everybody else on the internet. Yeah, I
Well,
tapped out. I tapped out.
you tapped out, and also this week, Boyd and Ellis, they kind of stood together next to Fatima against
Mhm.
Donna's concerns about lying
Yeah.
to the town. Do we expect tensions to rise between Boyd and Donna, and how will it affect Ellis?
Yeah, I don't think that any of those relationships are going to be the same after this season. I think we've drawn quite the line in the sand between myself and my father and Fatima. Like, I think there is a bit of a clear divide of just like, I mean, Boyd even says it. He goes, "You take care of your people, I'll take care of mine." So I think that's like especially coming from someone like him who wants to keep people unified. That's a big warning, I guess. Like, don't come for my people and I won't come for yours. So I do think there's going to be a divide, not just between the three of us and other people, but I think the effects of Fatima killing somebody and then obviously not going in the box, at least as far as we know, that's going to cause some people to reconsider what the rules are. And some people are going to be really for her going in the box, and maybe some people are going to be like, it's not her fault. And I agree with Ellis and Boyd, and I hope that's the case, and I hope there's a division of power, and then we can maybe have two factions, two legitimate factions, not just Colony House in the town, working on a similar goal in a very different way. I think that would actually be helpful for everybody.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens at the end of season 3. I hope you get a season 4. I have no doubt there's
Yeah.
plenty of story to tell.
Hell yeah.